The Childhood of Jesus, Chapter 174. The Nature of the Moon. That evening the full moon had just risen over Austria, and Jonathan admired his beautiful form from this hill, enjoyed his light, and was altogether silent. Joseph soon noticed this, and asked Jonathan, "Brother, just what do you see in the shining disk of the moon, since you observe it so attentively?" And Jonathan answered, "Actually, I do not see anything at all, except the old, always the same spots. But as often as I see the moon, I always wonder what those spots might be, and what the moon is anyway, why we sometimes do not see it at all, then like a sickle, and then again so and so. If you know any more than that, tell me about it, for I really like to hear about things like that." Here Joseph admitted, "Dear friend, in this respect we both are quite alike, and I am thus no better informed about the strange nature of this heavenly body than you are, so I am able to tell you as good as nothing concerning this matter. The little child will surely know more about it than I, so ask him." Here Jonathan, in a somewhat backward manner, asked the little child concerning the nature of the moon, and the little child answered, "Jonathan, if I show you the moon, you then will also want to see the sun, and after that the countless stars. Tell me, when will your desire to see come to an end? Behold, much knowledge burdens the head, and makes life on earth unpleasant. But much love in your heart to God and your fellow men makes life on earth pleasant, and takes away all fear of death. For this love truly is eternal life in itself, and whoever has this will at some future time see the whole creation. For those who truly love God will see his face, and that is the face of God, which he created by his wisdom and by his eternal infinite power. For the face of God is wisdom and infinite power, just as love is his fundamental essence from eternity. But since you have already asked me about the moon, I say this to you. It is a lesser earth, and has mountains, valleys, fruits, animals, and beings of your kind. Now the part which you see is naked and void, and has neither water nor fire. Only the part which you do not see is like the earth. The moon's light is from the sun. Its brightness depends on its position, and changes every minute according to its rotation around the earth. And its spots are deeper and darker places of trial. Now you know what the moon is. Are you satisfied therewith?" And Jonathan affirmed this question, and absorbed himself in deep thoughts. Chapter 175. An Historic Eclipse of the Moon. When Mary, assisted by Eudokia, had completed her household duties, she also went up on the little hill, preceded by Eudokia. Here the little child ran towards her, and danced joyously around his indeed lovely mother. Mary now took the already fairly heavy little child on her somewhat tired arms, caressed him, and jokingly said, "My, but you are heavy today. You undoubtedly were too sweet-toothed, and ate too much bread, butter, and honey." The little child answered, "Oh, there was much to put away. Such a little jar that James can easily hide in his fist. Then a little piece of bread, which one may not expose to the wind either, so it will not promptly be lifted up into the air like a dry leaf. One certainly cannot put on much weight from that. I must confess that I am really quite hungry, and already look forward to the evening meal. See, Joseph and Jonathan have already made a meal of the whole moon, and are still hungry although they are grown. How then should I have stilled my hunger with that fly's snack, when I still have to grow?" And Mary said to the child, "My little son, but you are really quite difficult again today. See, if Joseph and Jonathan had made a meal of the moon, It surely would never shine down so beautiful from the sky. And the little child said, "Woman and mother, I am not being difficult. You just did not understand me. Now just go on over to the two, and they will promptly give you a taste of the moon also." Here Mary smiled and went over to Joseph, greeted him and asked him what he was so profoundly considering, and why he and Jonathan were so busily looking at the full moon. But Joseph hardly looked around at Mary and replied, "Just do not bother me in my observation, for I want to decipher something now with Jonathan. Jesus has given us hints which must be worked out. So be quiet now, and do not interrupt us." At this Mary looked at the little child, who was secretly smiling, and the little child said, "Now do you see how Joseph and Jonathan still feed on the moon? Just wait here patiently, and have James bring me a piece of bread and an orange, for the feeding on the moon by Joseph and Jonathan makes me still hungrier than I already am." Thereupon Mary quickly sent James and had him bring what the little child wanted, and then asked the little child how long it would take for the two to finish their calculations about the moon. And the little child said, "Just watch. Today, even right away, an eclipse of the moon will take place, which will last about 3 hours. Now those two do not know what causes this. Therefore they will suppose that they have actually eaten up the moon, especially Jonathan. And this phenomenon will put an end to this observation. Afterward I shall of course instruct them again, as I usually do when it is necessary. But first both must strongly miscalculate and see their calculations come to naught." Hardly had the little child finished speaking these words when the moon already showed a dark brown indentation. Jonathan was the first to notice this and pointed it out to Joseph. Joseph, in great surprise, noticed the same thing, and still more since the eclipse increased with every moment. At this both were soon afraid, and Joseph quickly asked the child, "Child, what is taking place with the moon?" Here the little child said, "You can see that I am eating, so why do you want to interrupt me? Wait until I am through with the orange, as you with the moon, and I shall tell you more." Thereupon Joseph was silent, and when the moon became totally eclipsed, both became alarmed. Everyone now went into the house, while Jonathan seriously believed that he had eaten the moon.